Hello viewers, you're watching the Youth Dialogue and I am your host, Cherno. It's good to be back. Well, today on this episode, we are focusing on art, young people in art. That is why I will host Cherno, who is a poet, Mariama Cham, a musician, as well as Omar, an actor. We are going to have an amazing show. And guess what? Mariama Cham is going to have a live performance on the Youth Dialogue. We will have a live performance for the first time on the show. She's amazing, and all of them are creating the impact that is necessary in society. So we'll go for a short break. When we return, the conversation starts with Cherno. Welcome back, viewers, from that short break. Before we went for the break, in the introduction, I did mention that we'll have Cherno, who's a poet. I know Cherno, the face looks familiar. You know, this is not the first time you're seeing Cherno on television. We've featured you on QTV News and more because of the good work that you're doing in relation to poetry. The time is changing. When poetry used to be just for fun, now we use poetry to tell stories. We use poetry to direct government, and that is one part. That is one part that I'm so interested in, and we will get to talk about it more. Welcome to the show, Cherno. It's so good to have you here.
Hello viewers, Assalamu alaikum Gamba. It's amazing to be here. Geneva, I would like to apologize because we didn't have you people at the album launch. Yeah. It was so prompt and my team was tight, but we're here. Yeah. So yeah, it's nice to be here. My name is Cherno, as you all know. I'm a poet, I'm a law student, and I also work for the TRRC as a youth empowerment officer. And poetry basically is my life, and you're right, it's changing. Yeah,
things are changing. So poetry is your life. Talk to us about when they started. You know, what is the motivation? How did it start?
Back in high school, right, when I used to read a lot, so I had a lot of ideas in my head, so I started writing these things in books. I didn't actually call it poetry. No, it wasn't called poetry, because, you know, I went to school in the provinces, so we didn't have writing clubs or poetry or news clubs like that, nothing like that. We used to have debate and quiz. That was it, basically. So I started writing, but one day, when I was in grade 11, we had this English class, right? And the English teacher came in, he said, let someone rob the board. The class captain was not in, the deputy class captain was not in, so we all refused. We said, we're not going to rob the board. Yeah. So he reported us to the principal, who actually punished the entire class. This was on a Thursday. So I went home, I was actually angry. So I wrote this thing, 2 pages.
No way.
I spent the whole night writing, writing and everything. So I came to school on Friday. Friday is always assembly. I was actually late, so if you're late, they park you at a place because you cannot get punished.
No, we went through that.
Yeah. So when they finished and they're like, okay, we're wrapping, and I raised my hand and I said, I have something to say. So if it was like, what? This guy, he's always making trouble in school. How can he have something to say? So they said, okay, come forward. The hall was so silent, I could hear my heartbeat. Yeah. Because this was my first time. That's how everybody was curious. They wanted to know what this guy's coming to say. Yeah. So the principal said, okay, go ahead. So I read this thing, right? And he said, I read it again. I read it again. Yeah. He said, read it again. I read it again. He said, give me the papers. I gave it to him. He said, you see, the same thing we've been saying since the school was established is what this boy summarized in 2 pages. Understand? Wow. It was so impressive. I was so amazed. So he took the papers home, he typed them, printed them, and put them on the notice board. To this day, if you go to Kawur Senior Secondary School, you will see the writing there, written by Cherno, grade 11 arts too. Wow. So that was my starting point. And I felt so fulfilled that day. I have been writing ever since.
Cherno, let's also talk about tips. You know, if you want to become a poet, what does it take? You know, is it the English? Are poets born or made, and all of that? I mean, because this is as well some form of a mentorship for young people that are watching out there who would want to be in your shoes at some point.
Yeah, that's true. I do a lot of trainings on creative writing and public speaking, stage presentation in particular. Just last Sunday, I was at Nusrat training their peer health students. I've been doing it for the past 2 years. Last year I was there. And this year I will be having another one with them. So basically, nobody is born a poet. Because I was having this training with the kids, and they were like, "So is anybody born a poet?" I said, "Nobody is born anything." Okay. Right? I have seen people who did arts and became engineers. I've seen people who did science and became lawyers. You understand? So you can transcend, you can cross. And then English is good, but you need to read because you need to know things. I am not a big fan of just writing about feelings. I want you to write about facts. If you're writing, let it be something you can defend on any platform, which is why most of my poems are really well researched. I don't just write my feelings. I write things that I can defend. Because what you feel might not be what someone else's feel.
Okay.
What you think may not be what I think. So it is important that when we write things, we base it on fact. Authenticity is very important to me, and it should be very important to not just every writer, but anybody who have the public space to speak.
Okay.
Because you're not just speaking for you, you're speaking for others too. And another important thing I told them is your grammar need to be good.
Yeah, grammar.
But,
I see you guys use I see you guys use big grammar. Is it necessary in poetry
No,
all the time that you have to use big words?
It is not necessary, because you see, the purpose of communication is to pass a message.
Yeah.
So if your English is so big that someone has to go home and open a dictionary to know what you're saying, then you are not communicating.
Okay.
And this is something I said to them. Because you see, being a poet and speaking English is like everybody can have money and buy cement and buy blocks, but it takes an architect to build a house. So everybody can speak in English, but you need to be creative enough to be able to write a poem. So creativity is very important in that. Wordplay, and then some of these kids who are just coming up, they're so impressed with rhyming. We have to rhyme. I said, no, poetry don't necessarily have to rhyme. You're sending a message.
Okay.
So you can rhyme, but if the rhyming is going to get in the way of the message you're trying to send, then there is no point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
I thought the same too. I thought you have to rhyme things. You know, when you're saying it, the words, the endings have to match.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
If you can do it, it's amazing. It's fun, right?
Okay, but it has to be sensible in a way.
Sensible, yes.
Yes.
If the word that is rhyming with the last word is going to divert the meaning of what you're trying to say, then there's no point in rhyming, because you're trying to send a message.
Okay. And I see you guys use local language now. Tell us about that.
I
What motivated the local language?
Yeah, the local language.
And it adds a lot of things.
Yeah, it does. I don't do local languages much. Omar does a lot of that.
Okay.
Omar is Wolof, is Mandinka, English, yeah, which is good. I am Fula. My Wolof is not very good, so if I want to put Wolof there, it will be really awkward.
Okay.
And I have only ever written one Fula poem, which I did for the TRRC. That is before they started. They wanted to have these poems, which me and Omar did for them. We did English, Mandinka, Wolof, and Fula. So Omar did Mandinka and Wolof. I did the English and the Fula. And still now Omar is mocking me about that.
Okay.
Because he said the rhyming was so funny. I said, that's because you cannot speak Fula.
Yeah, that is the reason.
But the message, I was able to send the message. I like to be consistent in what I do. And there is a way I want to communicate my message. If I want to use Wolof and I'm not good in Wolof, I'll not be able to say exactly what I want to say.
Yeah.
So the language I'm comfortable in doing poetry is English.
Okay.
If someone else is comfortable in Wolof, Mandinka, Fula, they can do that. The idea at the end of the day is to make sure that the message you want to communicate gets to the people the way you want it to get there. Yeah.
Cherno, can poetry be entirely somebody's profession? Can poetry pay the bills when people call you guys for performances? Do they take advantage of you guys, or they get to pay? Do you guys give invoices?
We give invoices now,
Okay.
but then it was really tough. Of course, I remember me and Omar used to sneak into events, and we will go to the MC and be like, please, can you allow us to read a poem, right? We used to beg them to give us a chance to get on the platform. That was when we were starting. Yeah. And then they will invite you to events and give you a mic, and they will not even give you fare. I remember me and Omar has walked from events to home because we didn't have fare, like a lot of times.
No way.
Yeah, and now it's different. You get calls every day. We have in this event, can you come and perform? And they will say, fine, how much are you paying? They say, okay, this is our budget. I said, no, we are going to do it at this price. Okay. And then we get paid. I have been paid up to $10,000 for spending 3 minutes on stage. Okay. 3. You cannot spend at most 5 minutes on stage, just how much you perform, right? And these are not even poems I wrote specifically for these people. They just say, we want you to come and perform. I say, fine, what's your budget? This is it. Okay, I'm getting paid that. Okay. So I come, I spend 3 minutes on stage, read my poem, get my money and leave. Okay. But the question is, can it be entirely your career? That is, that's going to be hard in the Gambia right now, because you're not going to get events every single day.
Every single day.
You can have 3-4 events in 1 week, but you can also sit probably for 2-3-4 weeks without any events, which means it is not reliable 100%. But when it's working, you make money out of it. And right now, we are making money from poetry. At some point,
I'm going to start considering poetry. I have to do this. I need fast money.
Yeah.
At some point, I'm going to put it into consideration. So I know you launched your album.
I did.
And I mean, I wanted to be there, but at some point, I could not be there due to reasons beyond our control. But how was the launch? How successful was it?
It exceeded my expectations.
Okay.
You see, when I was working on the album, at first, I wanted to do it with a lot of people. That was about a year ago. I spoke to Lala and Omar, but every time we get close to doing it, something got in the way. I said, you know what, I'm going to do it alone. Okay. So I decided to do it. But the problem I found was that it's very difficult to find support in the Gambia. Nobody came in, except this friend I have who is kind of my manager or something. She helped me in paying for the studio time for the recording. And then the rest I had to do on my own with my own money. I went to a lot of institutions, but they didn't help. But that wasn't it. The idea was, it was a dream dream for me. And I wasn't looking to have the biggest event. I wasn't looking to have a perfect album launch or the greatest album launch. I just wanted to start something so that someone else will know if they want to do it, they will do it. So it was about setting precedents. But the album launch was so amazing. See, when I stepped on stage that day, like, I was surprised. The hall was full, VIP section filled up. People were standing in the back. I was like, wow. You know, people came. And Omar Champion, he's the one I put in charge of the organizing committee. So I was like, okay, Bright Stars will be performing. You know, they are our friends, so we support each other. Omar will be performing at their event tonight. So I was like, okay, Bright Stars is coming. Should we put them in the fly? Omar said, no, we are not doing that. We are going to see whether if Cherno alone calls, will Gambia answer?
Exactly.
I say, yeah, I like that idea. So entirely the whole marketing and publicity was just Cherno. Nobody else, only Cherno. People who came were surprised because Bright Stars was there, Barham was there, his sister Mariam was there, and a lot of other people, because they are our friends. You know, we meet and we meet at events and all that. But it was amazing, it was epic. And I just want to tell you that it is going to be an annual event. Not every year we're going to have an album launch, but next year I want to have the biggest national poetry event in this country, organized under the name Infinity Voice, because that's the name under which we launch it. So next year, inshallah, we will be having the same event. This time we'll be having poets from across the country, you know, high school, university.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it is not going to be owned by Cherno, it is going to be owned by the poets in Salah. It's just my initiation, but we are working on it together.
Okay, but how should we expect subsequent albums from you? Are you already working on it?
Yes, I'm already working on things. You should expect subsequent albums from me, but not just me. I'm hoping Omar Cham will do another one before I do my second.
You know,
Lala Toure, but you should definitely expect more from me. But the Infinite Voices will bring all those people together under the same umbrella to have the same event once every year, like we have the open mic.
Amazing. I'm looking forward to it.
Inshallah.
I'm looking forward to that. So let's take a look at one of the poems that you have from the album called Flames. So we will take a look at that, and when we come back, you will talk to us about what motivated that one. So viewers, let's take a look at that. When we return, the show continues. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
Sometimes, I just feel like quitting. Pack up everything, hit the road and never look back. Go home as I came and tell mom the dreamland is a lie. The future must have died before it was born, or maybe there was none. But I'm still here fighting alone, for a dream I'm no longer so I believe in. Hoping, hauling, praying, not for a miracle, no, but for a spark of light that brightened the path I walk in. Because unlike Eminem, I am not white. But like him, I have to make this right. So yes, I know all about the frustration and the stigma. We try. The expectations that leave us hanging out to dry. The hope that breaks our hearts. We can't cry, can't fly, just watch it all go by, as they baptize us with the lies in which they lie. Unemployment is on the rise. Underemployment is at an all-time high. Government salaries are at an all-time low. The top dogs eat the steak and throw away the bones, leaving the ordinary hard-working man with not enough change to take a bag of rice home. So, I call him a victim of the system. Because not even an explanation from Harvard can satisfy me as to why we work so damn hard and earn so little. The employment minister's NAWEC bill is more than our civil servants' basic salary. Legally, we try. Medically, our hospitals are sick, they are weak. The streets are dim, not lit, no clean water to drink. Electricity blinks. NAWEC is like the prostitute that sleeps with everyone, but never stays for the night. It's always just a fling. No one ever gets the ring. So when my sister died, giving birth to my little niece, because her home was too far from the hospital and the road was not good enough for a donkey cart, not to say a car, I say she was murdered by the same system that killed her daughter 4 years later because of a disease she caught drinking contaminated water from a well. See, she didn't have access to pipe-borne water. So believe me, I know about the pain associated with dead dreams, the screams that seem to tear the souls of men out with shame. Fame is a foolish man's ambition, but then again, isn't every man a fool? See, school is not a brain-making factory. That is God's job. Yet our school system is like the virus corrupting God's work. Our children go to school smart and focused, then come home stupid and confused, because we refuse to recognize their intelligence beyond their performance in math and English. So we kill them before they grow, slow them before they glow, and cage them before they blow. We are slaves to this crude system designed to oppress us, and we are more determined to stick to it than Judas was to betraying Jesus. Section 30 of the Constitution is a lie, for the average Gambian can't afford university education for his child. See, I am a son, not a father. At home is a little girl I call sister, and a woman my mother. So yeah, I know all about love and pride, the love of family and the pride of a proud mother in her child. So I try to be strong, freeze the tears in my eyes, and bleed my heart out in smiles. I paint my pain in poetic verses. In every line, I tell a story. I feel stronger every single day, but I keep falling. It's like every record I make, the system breaks and never says sorry. This system is like a bulldog that only barks and never bites. The rest of us are innocent souls fighting to survive, with only enough strength to keep our heads above water. For like my sister and her daughter, we are all victims of this damaged system.
Welcome back, viewers, from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching the Youth Dialogue, and that poem was prepared and performed by Cherno, part of his album, his poetry album. And I think this is the first time we're having this in the Gambia. First time in the Gambia.
First time ever.
Yes, exciting. Talk to us about what motivated that.
Cold Flames is a poem where I talk about a lot of things, the government in particular.
I like that part.
You see, I talked about NAWEC, I talked about government salaries especially,
Yeah.
I talked about corruption, I talked about the healthcare system,
Yeah.
I talked about the legal system. There's a lot of things. See, what inspired the poem was during Ramadan, this past Ramadan, right? My mom's younger sister, who is married here around Sinchualaji, she was pregnant. So she was having a baby, so they took her to RVTH, right? So she delivered healthy and everything, but she lost a lot of blood.
Okay.
Yeah. So they needed blood, and the entire hospital there was no blood, and this woman lost her life.
Okay.
Because there was no blood in the one main hospital in this country.
They had to put it on status and stuff to say a woman needs
She died.
O+ or stuff like we always
She
do.
died, actually.
Okay.
She lost her life. And now my mom is raising the kid, right? And I was angry. This angered me a lot because the biggest hospital in this country, someone will die because there is no blood, right? It was bad for me. And from there, I made a commitment. Every 3 months now, I donate blood.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
You know, as a tribute to her, because I was really angry because of what happened. So these are some of the, reasons that inspired me to write the poem. And there are a lot of realistic things. You hear me say, the employment minister's NAWEC bill is more than our civil servants' basic salary. You have people who go to work from 8 to 5, and they are paid how much? 1,500, 2,000. That cannot even pay rent.
Exactly.
They cannot buy a bag of rice, and you have a family, you have kids, and now you want us
Crime rate goes up.
And you want us to get rid of corruption.
Yeah.
If I come to that person and say, I want you to do something for me that is against the rule, I will give you $1,000.
Why
they
not?
will do it.
That is close to his or her salary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do we change the mentality of the people? How do we push the government to make decisions that favor our people? It's through poetry, because as I said, not everybody can pick up the mic and speak their mind.
Yeah.
So those of us, you and me, who are privileged to be on the spotlight to speak, when we speak, even if it is for a minute, we have to make sure that our words carry the interest, the welfare, the well-being of the people around us who cannot pick up the mic.
Yeah.
And this is what I use poetry for. That's why they ask, Cherno, you don't write love poems? I said, Well,
We don't have time for
if
that.
I had a girlfriend and I want to write a love poem for her,
Why
I would write a love poem and send it to her.
Yeah.
It is between us. We can go on a date. I will read her the poem, but I cannot stand on stage and start talking about how I feel about my girlfriend in a poem.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird. I'm talking to people. I need to talk to them about something that will better their
Yeah,
lives.
societal issues. We have a
Exactly.
lot of them. I mean, that is personal, but that part is funny though.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Cherno. I mean, I wanted this conversation to continue, but we also have other young people that are supposed to come here and talk to us about what they do in relation to performing art and more. So give us your final words.
It's been an honor to be here, Jason, and you've been doing an amazing job, the Youth Dialogue. Young people like us will be taking the mantle of leadership in this country in a very few years. In fact, we are already leaders in our own. You influence a lot of young people standing here.
Thank you.
I influence a lot of young people doing poetry. I meet random people in the street saying, Cherno, you're doing an amazing job, or wanna be like, I get text messages and calls from numbers I have never known every single day. Ladies, every day. From young, old, male, female, you know, all, every day. So when we do what we do, and this goes to every young person there who is an artist, a musician, an actor, or whatever you do that has to do with the public space, you have to conduct yourself responsibly. You have to make sure that the message you are passing is beneficial to the people learning. Because trust me, the fact that you are at home and you have a younger sister who looks up to you makes you a leader.
Exactly.
Whatever you do, the young people learn from us, and society is changing.
Cherno,
so
I always say this, leadership is beyond being a president. It's beyond being a manager. You can be a leader in your own home, like you said to your younger sister. You can be a leader in your own community. It's not only about being a boss. And even if you're a boss as a young person, it's not the fact that you're a leader, but how best the work can be done if you're not there. So that is the whole message. But Cherno, you should do an a cappella or something for Youth Dialogue. Or are you going to write a poem for us? Like, you have to do something.
I have to do an a cappella. So let's do this. This poem is called Freedom is Not Free.
All
right?
right.
It's going to take, let's say, a minute.
Okay.
I'm just going to read the last verse. So, I've got a gun. A bullet in the chamber, my finger on the trigger, I've got a gun. Click, click, hit the target, no remorse, no regrets, I've got a gun. See, I am a heterosexual Muslim man with an independent mind and an unapologetic voice who don't just happen to be black but African. So my choices in everything are put under the microscope of Western prejudice and liberal stereotypes. My wife's wardrobe is a reflection of oppression, they said. My daughter's choices in life are tainted with male domination, they said. Well, tell them I said that I hail from that nation of God, that God of man, that man of freedom, the freedom within reason, the reason for our senses, the sense we thought was common until they thought that their right to be gave them the right to disrespect our rights and the rights of our people to be. So we cannot be what we want to be, what we ought to be, what we must be, unless and until the trajectory of our destiny is aligned with the direction of their moral compass, so we are not free. Because freedom is what they say it is. Liberty is what they say it means. Our society is divided over ideas we are not even qualified to define, and we have activists advocating for things they don't understand. Their ignorance is an encyclopedia of brutal confusion and self-contradiction built on the simple philosophy that we, as Africans, that we, as black people, have been oppressed our whole life. So once again, here comes the white man with his lofty ideas to liberate us from ourselves. So once again, we roll over and let him take our home. Once again, we stand by and watch him dictate our lives. Once again, we are in chains and he is holding the whip. Once again, we find ourselves slaves to the white man, imprisoned by our own inferiority complexes, literally unable to think critically or decide independently because we have been stripped of our individuality, taught to blindly conform with society without question. His society, his rules, his values, his ideas, his beliefs, his lifestyle. See, freedom is not free, something Kunta Kinte and his generation understood in a way that me and my generation can never understand. So all I've got is a gun. Click, click, you better run.
Thank you so much, Cherno.
Right.
That was very good. And I like the part when you said activists fighting for something they don't really understand.
Oh, that's a problem.
We see that all the time. We see that all the time.
That is very common, and you cannot say something like that because they will take you as an enemy.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying anything. I'm safe. I'm done.
No,
Thank
I'm
you
telling
so
you
much.
I'm saying, yeah.
Thank you so much. I think you deserve a handshake for that.
Thank
you so much, Cherno, for coming. So viewers, we will take a short break. When we return, the conversation continues. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, viewers, from that short break. That was Cherno, a poet. I know you guys enjoyed his freestyle. I did. He promised that he would write a poem for Youth Dialogue, so we're waiting for that. So right now I have with me Omar Njagan. I just hope, Omar, I did pronounce that correctly. Yeah. Omar is an actor, Omar is a movie producer, and Omar also is a writer. I mean, this is the whole package. Omar, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Omar, I mean, we've had conversations in the past when you used to do all those funny videos and stuff. I take you as a person who's very determined because I know where you started, how you started doing this gradually till you're here now, about to launch a movie. So talk to us about your journey. How did it start? How did you develop the passion that this is what I want to do, despite the fact that very little support is available in the Gambia in relation to what you do?
Yeah, well, when it comes to passion in what I do, I think the passion was just there naturally. I cannot say that someone built it in me, but I can say it's been developed by during school days. When I was in school, like when I was in grade 12, I used to be part of the Masrood drama group. This is where I developed myself as far as acting is concerned and writing itself, because I could remember I wrote my first literary piece when I was in, I think, just when I finished my grade 9, waiting for my results. Yes, I was just around 18 years when I wrote that. So, but like the passion kept developing in me, but like the help wasn't there. Like you said, it's a long journey, because I can remember when I write my first episode, that was a comedy episode, and then we acted it with Success Seekers. That was around 2013. So 2013, this was like a form of competition. Not a comedy itself, sorry. It was a competition. It was a stage performance. It was a competition organized by XXL. So, and then that was where I found
that was the foundation.
Yes, the foundation.
Okay.
And then we went for a competition. It was a great competition, and then we won it. That was why I had the belief that yes, I think
possible.
Yes, it's possible. So this is where we started. I was then going to grade 10. So I was in school doing it. So when I finished grade 10, when I finished grade 12, I decided to take it as something serious. So then I called my friends that I used to do it with. So I called them together and I told them, look, I want us to do this, because I think it's something that is very important, because when you look at it in the Gambia today, the movie industry was not growing, but I think now it's growing, because when you look at it.
Why do you think it's growing? Exactly.
Yeah, because this 5 months from now to the last 5 months, when you look at it, a lot of movies have been launched, and they are all written and acted and directed by very young people, very young Gambians like me and you. So I think it's developing, and then I have that connection with like most of the producers. So, and then I think they're feeling that it is growing a bit. We just need to adjust a bit, and then we have to compete every other African country.
Okay.
So I think.
Do you think your standard right now can compete other African countries?
Yes, I believe that.
Okay.
I believe that the movie can compete, because I think when I first talked to you about this movie, that is what I told you. I told you that we have acted a movie that I think can compete any other African movie.
Okay.
I think this was the first thing I told you. So I have that belief that the movie, though it's not perfect, because we want to grow. We want to make it perfect anyway. But I think we are growing.
Okay. You said within the past 5 months coming down to now, there were a lot of movies that were launched, written and directed by young people. So how is the response from Gambians? How is the response and the support? How do you guys even get money? Is it only during the premiere, or is there something online available where you can go and buy movies? I mean, African movies, Gambian movies.
Yeah, I think all the movies that have been launched in the past were successful, because just last 2 weeks, the Blue Stars launched their movies at Q City, and then the hall was, mashallah, it was alhamdulillah, it was great. And then young stars have been launching their movies, and then it was great. When you look at Bright Stars, today is Rangha Bisap, I think.
Yeah.
And I know it's going to be great. So I think people are loving it. But when it comes to fun, it's very, 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 very difficult, especially with us, the ones that are, like for Success Seekers, we've done a lot of comedy videos on YouTube. You can have it on YouTube. Success Seekers Gambia, you will see our videos. In fact, once you write Gambian comedies, you will see our videos. But it has been very challenging, because we did those videos in 2016, and we brought it to QTV to play it, but what they told us was the quality was not up to standard as they want. And then when I went home, I look at this, I felt like all I was doing was zero.
No, it's not
But
zero.
no, it's important. But like, it is very important. That
Yeah.
response was very important to me because it made me,
Development.
yes, it made me to sit down, think very well, and then try to upgrade myself.
Exactly.
Because I think it was a fact. It was not a criticism, but it was a guide to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had the chance to come and to bring my videos here, but that was the truth, and
Yeah.
then I have to go and then work on that.
And I have to say this, when they told you guys that the quality wasn't good, like you said, it was not criticism, it was the truth, because sometimes we take a look at what we have to air on television.
Yeah, that is it.
But it wasn't a waste of time.
Yes.
The reason why it wasn't a waste of time is it was practice for you.
Yes.
You got to practice, and
Yes.
practice makes perfect. If you never did all of those videos, today you will not be launching this movie today. You've done enough practice, that is why you're here.
Yes.
So take it as a challenge, like
yeah,
you said,
yes,
it's not a
yes.
waste of time.
And it like, it made me to take my time, because
Exactly.
movie is not just about doing it. You have to, you have to spend. You have to spend a lot of money to make sure that you have a good production.
Yeah.
Because we just don't have to act movies, videoize it, edit it, and then we say this is a movie. That's all. We need to do something that is of quality, something that we can present to the world.
Yeah. So
Yes.
right now, let's take a look at the secret truth that is happening. I know you are seeing it in front of your screens. Some of the activities there about the secret truth. Tell us about it quickly, because we have another guest on coming up next, Mariama Cham. Talk to us quickly about what motivated the movie. I know the launching is fast approaching.
Yes. I will start with giving thanks to that Mariama Cham you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Definitely, she contributed a lot in the promotion of The Secret Truth.
Yeah.
Yes. The Secret Truth itself is a movie like what we are trying to talk about is the current Gambia in The Secret Truth, because when you look at Gambia now, there are a lot of sexual violence cases, a lot of rape cases, domestic violence, and then things like that. So The Secret Truth is more of talking about the Gambia that we live in today, because there are a lot of violences when it comes to that, and how do we report these violences? How do we tackle them? And we need to know the people that are facing these violences, what are they going through? How are they feeling? And this is a best way. I think this is another way to reduce this type of violence. So I think
so the movie is sending a positive message.
Yes.
Yeah, sending a positive message. Thank you so much, Omar. Give us your final words. I mean, targeting all those young people out there who would want to be in the movie industry. Should I say industry or scene? Do we have a scene or an industry?
Yeah, well, I think we have an industry. We have an industry. Come
okay.
on.
Okay.
Yes,
Final words, Omar.
Yes. My final words will be a challenge to the Gambians down there. Yeah, because like, if I think Gambians need to make Gambia great. Yes, because when you go outside, like when you look at Yusundu today, I said it the last time I was at your youth dialogue, I said it, and I will repeat it again. If you see Yusundu is great today, it's because of Senegalese.
Yeah.
And then Gambians should make Gambians great.
Yeah.
So let's come out and support, so that we will take the Gambia forward, and we will also take the industry forward. So we are all waiting to see you 30th of November at the Ibujan Theatre. Come out in your large numbers and support, and you will not regret it, inshallah.
I think I have a VIP ticket somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah,
VIP ticket,
exactly.
and then,
Thank you so much. I think that is the ticket. You can all see it. I mean, go and support them. These are young people that are doing extremely well down there. The Secret Truth. So thank you so much, Omar, for giving me this. And I promise to be there. And I'm expecting all young people to be there. Like you rightly mentioned, Yusundur, Wali Seka, all of these people, they started somewhere. People supported them when they organized their shows. If nobody, went out there to support them, then they will get to stop.
Definitely.
So that is why a lot of Gambians stop at some point, because they don't have support. So let's go and support this movie premiere. I'll be there, and I know that a lot of you will be there to see the success seekers successful.
Success. Oh, good.
Yes. Thank you so much, viewers. Next up, we have Mariama Cham. So we'll go for a short commercial break. When we return, the conversation continues. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. welcome back from that short break, viewers. Before we went for the break, I did mention that I'll have Mariama Cham, a musician who's just 18 years old. I'm so excited to have you here to talk about your journey in music. And I'm also excited that you use the instruments.
Yeah.
Hardly you see musicians in the Gambia alongside using an instrument. It's really hard. So having you is such an inspiration. Welcome to the Youth Dialogue.
Thank you, Jainaba,
Yeah.
for inviting me here.
Yeah, Mariama, talk to us about your journey. I mean, you're just 18 years old.
Yeah.
So when did this start? When did you start singing? And how did you learn to use all these instruments?
Well, I started singing when I was very young.
Yeah.
And I started playing the keyboard because I went to a music school.
Okay.
I was able to start in class and learn the theory of music, the
Okay.
A and B's, and the
Mhm.
1, 2, 3s of music,
Okay.
to be able to write, read, and spell music. So this is the short story
Okay.
behind why I sing and play keyboard.
Okay.
But I've started singing for a while and got the motivation of my brother, Mariama Cham.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
shout out to him.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
You know, he's been my #1 inspiration, and my mom also was a singer.
Okay.
She has a melodious voice. So
Okay.
I think
It's a
there's
whole generation.
genetic also part
Mhm.
of it.
Mhm.
And I was in a family also where we do music,
Mhm.
DMB, Polyman,
Okay.
and you know, they both inspired me to do music. And you know, SLA
Yeah.
Sabali Leadership Academy.
Yeah.
You know, Auntie J is also somebody who's always been there to tell me, Mariama, you can do this.
Mhm.
So, like, yeah, they also open a platform for
Yeah.
me to expose my talent in instrument.
Yeah.
So,
I think Auntie J is doing well
yeah.
with that.
I
I
am.
think I've attended one of your ceremonies in Coco Ocean a while, 2 years back. I can
Oh,
remember
yeah.
I was there and it was really good. So I think if we have more mentors on the table
Sure.
to guide young people,
Yeah.
because I mean, sometimes you have the talent, but you don't have the person to guide you.
Yeah.
So Auntie J, we are so happy. Thumbs up to you. And we know it's a whole team that is
It's
doing
a
extremely
whole
well.
team. It's a whole team. You
Doing
know.
extremely
They always
well.
force me to play keyboard then,
Okay.
but sometimes I run from it. I say, let me sing and dance.
Okay.
So I can
You can dance too?
just a little.
Okay.
So just saying shout out to Auntie J
Yeah.
for being a motivator to
Yeah,
us.
thank
the
you.
whole
So,
SLA and
so let's
Sabali.
talk about the importance of education in music, because you talked about the fact that you sat in a classroom to learn music.
Yeah.
So at some point, what is the importance of actually knowing the A's and the B's?
Yeah. So when you do music, you shouldn't limit yourself. I mean, like when we say I'm doing music, I'm in the Gambia, but I don't expect to be known just in the Gambia.
Yeah.
But if you wanna go to international and reach the international standard that we want, you have to know music
Yeah.
in theory.
Okay.
Because if you go to the white people,
Mhm.
they will just play a sheet of paper for you, like this is the music.
Yeah.
So play
Go
this.
by it.
They don't have to tell you this is just play la la la, or you know, they don't have to tell you in melodies,
Okay.
but they just have to tell you in words,
Okay.
which will be written in a sheet of paper, and you're gonna go by it. So if you don't know it, you have less respect from them.
Okay.
And by knowing it, you can play in any band you go in the world.
Okay.
Like I can go to any band, I will just tell I know my songs, play A or G for me,
And
play
they
this
can
and
do
this.
it. There's
They
no
play-
need for you to travel with a whole band.
No.
Okay.
I will just tell you, this is what I want you to play. These are the chords. This is the key. In this, this is the timing, and this is the genre I want you to
Yeah.
play. Either reggae, R&B, or Afro Manding, or whatsoever. And we
You
go.
know, looking at you right now, I see a little Sona Jabate down there. I don't know if she's been in any way inspiration to you, an inspiration
Yeah.
to you,
Yeah.
because I see her go international,
Yeah.
and she's doing it big. And have you gone international before?
Yeah, I can say, because I've just week before I was in a Unity Festival, up countries.
Okay.
I was just doing the same thing that I was doing here, and this is my way. I am into doing classical music.
Okay.
Though I do all types of music, reggae, dancehall, all. But I just want Gambia. I think it's high time for us to bring this Grammy and the Kora Awards here.
Okay.
And there is a particular music which has to go there.
Yeah.
and we should focus on producing those kind of music,
Okay.
like Sona Jabate.
And Sona is doing really well. Thumbs up to her. We should recognize her. Looking at you, I see her at her level or even beyond that at some point.
Yeah, so many people told me, like on my YouTube channel, some people will just send a message and say, you know, I just see Sona.
Trust me. Yeah, I see little Sona there.
I met her, and you know, she also gave me some good advices. Yeah, and I believe we're gonna be there.
Yeah,
so,
I would like to see
Gambia.
the two of you go on tour, like a European tour or something. I hope she's watching and pending this down. I would love to see you guys go on tour. So apart from music, what else do you do? Are you going to school? Do you want to be a lawyer someday, a journalist, or a doctor?
I've
it?
always dreamed of being a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah, because when I when I started doing music, I mean, I have some of my teachers that were not so happy for me to do music because I was so concentrated on my academic also. So they were not like, yo, Mariama, you should not do music. You have a brighter future somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I don't want to fail them too. I don't also want to fail my parents too. But again, I just want to stick to both careers, my academic and my music.
You can't do it.
I think this will go.
Okay,
and
you'll be able to.
Kumbagolo and Baba Mal, they're good examples. They're very educated and yet they're doing music.
Exactly.
And they are very respected in the world too. So this is the legacy that I am working on building. I'm a youth activist also, an environment and gender activist. So if you see me, you can see I'm a feminist.
Okay, this is a whole package. I mean, this is a whole package. I think I've seen you on few videos that has to do with advocating for something. I can't remember, but I think I've seen you on few.
And young women.
Exactly, yeah.
Like,
and Mariama, there's something that I stress all the time on the show, and you just touched on that. That is, whatever you do, education should accompany it.
Sure.
If you want to be a plumber, if that is what you want to be, you can be educated as well.
Sure.
I mean, if you want to be a footballer, you can be, if you want to be the next Messi, you can be a doctor alongside being the next Messi.
Yeah.
I always say that education should accompany whatever you do, because at some point, it's that one thing that can save you if something fails at some point.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important. So we're about to have a performance for the first time in the studio, and this is going to be for the first time having a performance here, because normally some of these performances we do it outside, but it's good to have this feeling once in a while in the studio.
Yeah.
So before we do that, I want you to talk to these young people out there who want to be musicians at some point, and people will discourage them because you just said that some of your teachers say, well, there's no future here, you have to do this. So what advice would you give them?
Okay, there is an advice, because in the Gambia, when you choose to do music, it's not seen as a noble profession. It's all because most of the people that you see doing music, they're either school dropout, and they're seen as some people who have nothing to do and prefer to do music. But there are people who have something to do, but music is just a passion for them to, you know, pursue. And people like me, I just love music since when I was born.
Yeah.
So it's just something that is in me, but it doesn't restrict me also from being a minister, being a president, or whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I inspire every young person there who want to do music. I used to give a free vocal classes to those that really want to develop their voices, you know, in music. So it's here. The art is, you know, there's a whole lot of space in here to be occupied. So you can come in, and if I can help, I can also help. But music is more than what we think it is. Is an agent for change. That's what I used to say. Music as an agent for change. And not just something that we dance to, but something that we relate messages to educate and change lives.
I totally agree with that, because lately I've seen a lot of organizations use music to actually communicate. Caravans, tours up country, and all of that to communicate their message. So it's not only about the dancing, but it's about also the message that you have. We're about to have our performance, so we will go for a short commercial break, and when we return, we will get to have a performance by Mariama Cham, a performance for the first time on the Youth Dialogue, but I think it's necessary. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
bu kenn lakkat mbalit ndaxte KMC amal nañu pexe yu rëy si suñ mbalit yi gox bu ne jox nañ la benn troc te gox bu ne am na ward office fu ñuy jaayee ticket si njëg gu yomb laaj la lu mooy sàkku mbalit bu ne fukki dërëm rek ku mënta jënd ticket nag mën nga xaar oto yi dinañ ñëw ba sa gox oto bu ne mu ngi ànd ak jaaykati ticket ku amul ticket duñ la sànnil sa mbalit ndaxte moto yii foog ñu toppatoo leen moto bu paan foog ñu defar ko te fuñ jaar ñu jënd essence pour moto yii mun a daw loolu tax KMC ñuy laaj sàkku mbalit bu ne fukki dërëm pour moto yii gudd fan suñ gox gi set foog ñu tàqale mbalit bi suuf si xotti butéel yi ak dogiti weñ yi ndaxte suñ boole yépp sànni ko si biir moto bi dafa yàq moto bi su boobaa ñu delluwaat si jafe-jafe mbalit buñ nekkee woon ku si bëgg a am lu leer mën ngaa woote si nombre yi
218 1999 and together for a better KMC.
Is a platform for the youth, for them to be inspired, motivated to move. Youth Dialogue is a platform for the youth, for them to be inspired, motivated to move. Hey, hey. With your host Jainaba. In the studio, QTV. Youth Dialogue is the platform created for the youth, for them to be inspired, motivated to move. Gambia, nuyu naa leen, sargal naa leen, mbooloo mooy doole, ne ñu ñaan jàmm sunu réew. Mbooloo mooy doole. Ne ñu juboo bañ di xuloo. Let us pray for peace in the Gambia. I say no to tribalism. No. Let us try and settle our political differences. Gambia is so small, the smiling coast of Africa. Oh, no, 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 yeah. Mbading Gambian kolu alinga beng tolbe sikilinti. Oh no 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 no. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mariama. I think this is the first time that somebody is actually singing for Youth Dialogue. So I think we have to use this over and over again. And thank you to Mr. Kora, should I say? What's the name again? Musa Suso. Like I said before, the Suso is expected.
Yeah,
you guys do this a lot.
yeah.
And seeing that you're a young person as well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mariama.
Thank you so
and,
much.
and it's amazing. I know this is just something that you put together like now.
Yeah, I just improvise.
Oh, I mean, and that is what good singers do. That is what good musicians do. Thank you so much for coming to the show. Thank Thank you so much, Mr. Suso.
Thank you
We
so
really
much.
appreciate it. I believe this is not going to be our last encounter.
Yeah.
We'll get to come more and more. Viewers, this is all we have for you, but we'll go for a short break. When we return, we get to wrap it up. Viewers, that is all we have for you in this edition of the Youth Dialogue. But before I take a leave, the shoes that I'm wearing is provided by Walking Together Shoes, Barrow down there. Thank you so much for your support, and we really appreciate it. Till I come your way next week with other young people doing extremely well across the country, don't forget to connect with us on our different social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Give us your comments, give us your recommendations. We will pen them down, if not even implement them. Till I come your way next week, stay tuned.